And then he said, "Let there be light." And there was, and it was good. Hey guys, welcome to Band Advice TV. So, ever since the early 80s when MTV came along and video killed a radio star, musicians have had to embrace looking good on camera as well as sounding good on tape. And now since the pandemic, we've had to move from the barroom to the bedroom and take our live shows onto Facebook and YouTube and other streaming services. Fortunately, we've got the technology to do this. We've got high-speed connections. We've got our cell phones can shoot 4K video and do all kinds of editing and stuff, and then we can just zap it right on up to the internet, practically no time at all. But as a result of that, we've had to learn the art of cinematography. And one of the core components of shooting good video is lighting. So today, we're going to see if we can DIY ourselves a pretty cheap and inexpensive studio lighting system. I'm your host, Mark Allen V, and this is Can You DIY? So in the world of visual arts, such as photography or cinematography, lighting is everything. You can have the greatest equipment in the world, but if your lighting sucks, it's not going to look good. You can have mediocre equipment, and if you do really well with the lighting, you're actually going to end up with a pretty decent product. Now, you can go online and find all kinds of lighting options out there. You got your super expensive professional grade studio quality stuff. You kind of got your middle of the road LED grids. And then you got the ones that are kind of geared for the selfie generation. Those rings that go around your camera that leave that nice little light circle in your eyes. What I want to do is see if we can kind of do something on the cheap that'll give us what we need without breaking the bank. Now, since we are going DIY and on the cheap and not going to have the luxury of professional gear, we're going to definitely want to focus on our lighting technique. And one of the best techniques that's out there, the most common one that's used, is called the three-point lighting. And essentially what that is you're going to have one light that's going to be over here filling in the subject, and it's going to be your brighter one. That's called your key light. Then over off in the distance on the other way, coming back at the subject, that's your fill light, and it's designed to kind of fill in the shadows that the key light over here is hitting. And then you'll have one that's kind of behind the head that's going to kind of illuminate the crown of the head here, and that kind of gives you some depth in and separates you from the background. And that's your backlighting. So what I did is I went down to the local hardware store, picked up 3 of these shop lamps. There's the clamp on. Got some LED lights. Now these are soft white. You want to use those instead of the daylight ones. The daylight ones are a little too white, a little too artificial. The soft white ones are going to have a little bit of that amber in there to make it more natural. Now the last thing that we need to do though is we got to make a diffuser. You got to put some sort of a semi-opaque covering over this so that when the light hits it, it illuminates that, and that you're not going to be seeing the reflective light here. You're going to see the illumination of the diffuser. So what we'll do there, good old-fashioned parchment paper. So here we go. Well, they're not the prettiest, but this is definitely one of those quintessential function, not fashion kind of situations. But I have a feeling to get the job done, so I'm going to go ahead and set these up in a typical 3-point lighting situation. I'll have a key light that's going to hit my face over here. I'll have a fill light that's going to fill in the shadows over here. Then I'll have a light behind me that's going to kind of illuminate the crown of my head. So hang on just a sec. All right, so here it is, 3-point lighting. Got my key light right here, got my fill light right back there, and I've got my backlight right above my head. And I tell you, I'm really happy with the way this looks, the way it turned out, especially for the price. I mean, it's like $10 for each of the lamps, $5 for each of the LED bulbs, a couple bucks for the parchment paper and rubber bands. So $45, $50. To me, that's a small price to pay to really add that professional look to your videos. So to answer the question, can you DIY? I think so. So until next time, I'm your host, Mark Allen V, and this has been Band Advice TV.